Got to.
This is the Tuesday Night Bully Talk, not the gun show, Caleb.
Yeah. What's up, Bully fam?
How y'all doing tonight?
Hopefully everyone is ready for this big night. We've got one of our favorite guests. Dave is amazing. So he's blessed us with one visit before the big show this weekend. So for those of you who don't know who this gentleman is, this is Dave Wilson, the El Jefe of the ABKC. ABKC Nationals is this upcoming Saturday in Savannah, Georgia, and he is gracing us with some kind of those last minute updates before the show, and just talking some dogs and talking about the community. And Dave, how ready do you feel for this Nationals right now? Like, where are you? Are you there yet, or are you still home? Like, when are you heading to Savannah?
I am absolutely nowhere close to being ready for Nationals. I will be ready the day I walk in that building. Until then, it's pure chaos. I'm still at home. I'm not getting there until Friday. So being that it's in Georgia, it's a short little flight, so it's not that bad. But yeah, I'm so far from being ready, I can't even tell you.
All right, do you at least have the attire?
Yeah, I got it. I got a couple ways. I even brought out the bow tie. You know what I did? I did that little thing through AI on Facebook, and it like put me in a tuxedo and everything else like that.
Smart man.
Yeah, but I now have to bring that to reality. So I ended up going there. I got
That's the tough part.
I can come whichever. I'll decide the morning of whether I go full tuxedo or I just wear the tie or whatever. We'll figure it out. But I'm ready. Clothes wise, I'm ready. Mentally wise, no. Yeah,
man, is it what about it mentally? Are you still kind of like wrapping your head around?
Well, it's always stressful because it's always a big event, and I want to make sure we give the community a great event. So I'm always stressed about that. I mean, nowhere near as stressed as Regina. I mean, Regina can't even come on these shows right now. She's losing her mind. But it's a big event. It's a lot to put together. And when you move it to a new location, it's like you're starting over again. And it's a lot of work. And then our community this year is a crazy year. This is that year that I swear people are holding on to their money to the last minute before they make a decision. It's like all these shows you're thinking it's going to be a flop, it's not going to work, and then all of a sudden, like a week out, all of a sudden they start buying boots. And that's like national. For like weeks I've been like, man, we're not getting 30 some boots still. What's going on? And then all of a sudden this week they start selling again. It's just they're stressing me out because I want to make sure it's a nice crowd and everything, which it is. I mean, now we're good. Yeah, I mean, the amount of dogs is pre-registered is already exceeded last year, so we're in good shape on that end of it. So
cool. Man, I love that pre-registration. It gives you the numbers kind of in advance that you kind of can predict what things are, what needs there is going to be as far as the facility is concerned, and concessions, things like that. But I mean, I bet it just makes life so much easier, when you're getting all these, people and these dogs into this building and just trying to orchestrate everything. That's one less thing on the table.
I can't imagine the moving parts, man.
That's the hard part of the moving part. Pre-registration
so many moving parts in different directions, so many things to coordinate.
But the crazy thing, even like down to pipe and drape. So we do Nationals, we want it to be a dressed up event. We want to give the community a really nice end of the year dressed up event. So finding black carpet, that's not an easy thing. They don't just readily sell black carpet anywhere, and you have to buy it because after Nationals you can't like give it back. Never mind, I'm turning it back in. Don't work that way. There's been a few little accidents.
It smells like pee. I try to get it out.
I don't know what y'all sold me, but it smelled like dog pee. Yeah, that doesn't work. But yeah. And then even here, like Savannah. We don't know anything about Savannah, really, and it's a beautiful venue. It's one of the prettiest venues I've ever seen. However, they don't have all the vendors in that area, so even the pipe and drape has to come in from Atlanta. So you're paying like we didn't expect that. We paid I don't know the price difference, but it was double. Yeah, it was double what it was in Houston just for pipe and drape. Just because it's not local. Yeah, so. It's just things you don't think about like that, and then all of a sudden you're like, you have to reestablish all your connections again in a short period of time, and then so me personally, I wanted to go back to Houston. I like Houston, but
I was born in Houston, man, so I'm a little biased, but it's really a cool city, and But hey, this may wind up being the best one ever. So I'm excited to see.
And if it is, then the community is right and I'm wrong. So we need to, work with the community. But if I'm right, we got to stay in Houston. But we'll figure that out. So
Yeah.
Well, I like the flexibility of it though. Like you gave it to the community, put it in their hands, and was just like, listen, like I'm like some people, it's almost like this. Well, the only reason it's in Houston is because Dave wants it there, and yet you were just like, no, really, like you know what? Give me awesome suggestions. Here's some cities to throw into consideration. You threw them in the hat, and people voted. You let the people decide, and they did. I mean, and it was not exactly a close race. I mean,
no, it was. I mean, the next runner-up was Chicago.
Right.
That was the next runner-up. California was pretty far down the list, unfortunately. Florida was the one that popped up out of nowhere and started creeping up. I was like, oh, please, come on.
Yeah.
You can get Orlando. That's my happy place. So,
Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, too, before we dive into the show in Savannah. So the plan is that every other year it's going to be in Houston, and then every other year you're going to let the community vote, correct?
That is exactly what we told everybody.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we
I'm still putting my vote in. The reason I like Houston, in all honesty, is because the rapport and everything we have there is great. Like they actually look forward to us coming every year, where some places still have stigma around things like that. And you just never know. Like I said, when we did it in union cities, you have to pay all these added union fees that we didn't know about. And Houston it's just easy. You got two major airports because a lot of international people come, which we can get into later. And it's just here I'm hyping up Houston when we're in national. I mean, Savannah. So, but anyway, I mean, yes, but that is the plan. The plan is to back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we'll see how that goes. And this is a test run right now. So we're going to see. We're going to see if the people voted, and if the people come out and support, then okay, then we're going to have to listen to the people from here on out.
Yeah. We'll find out how much buyer's remorse there'll be.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Say it's a real nice venue though.
The venue is gorgeous. It's probably one of the prettiest venues I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
Dang.
And we're on the new side. So we're in a new part of the venue. And not only in a new part, which is nice because the old part has carpet, the new part has no carpet, which I love with dogs. And the parking area is literally in front of our hall D. So you literally just park your car and just walk right in. And there's grass everywhere right there. So
how many rings are going to be in there this year?
It's two nationals. We always run two big rings. We always run the multi-breed, and then we run the American Bully.
I didn't know if y'all were doing the third ring for like the Merles or anything this year.
Well, the Merles are part of the American Bully now, so they compete. Right. They compete with the regular. I mean, we are doing.
So it won't be a separate ring. It'll be a part of the main event now.
Correct. The Merles are they're part of the American Bully breed, so they'll be able to compete, and people will be able to see them now. So.
I enjoyed seeing them creep up and do their little thing, and they didn't. I don't think that we had to turn out on it that we were expecting, but since then it's gotten a lot of attention, right?
Oh yeah.
I tell you what it did do. It really brought out the XLs, even though not all the XLs come in our Merles, but many XL breeders, Merles part of their program. And it brought out the XLs, and I kid you not, the XLs have been killing it this year. In Europe alone, we have a huge turnout of XLs. I think that Texas show had 30 or 40 some XLs, and the XLs are coming now, and that has kind of a correlation to the Merle.
Yeah,
that was my next question, Dave. How many international attendees do we expect? We got people coming from some different places this year, right?
We have a lot of people flying in. A lot of them are spectators because they really want to be part of nationals. Wow. And then we have some of the top contenders, some of our top 10 dogs, some of our Euro national, Asian national winners are going to be there competing. The first dog that ever received this premium pedigree is going to be there. I mean, platinum grand champion. Sorry, our first ever platinum grand champion will be there. So not only do we have a lot of people, but we have some heavy hitters coming from overseas. So it's going to be
absolutely
grand champion class is going to be.
I can't wait.
Man, that's what's up.
And split.
And that I'm ready to watch. That I am. I hope Alex takes his time because there's in my mind alone. There's 7 dogs that I'm excited to see at this event that I feel like all 7 of them are equal contenders, and that's not, there's going to be more, of course, but in my own mind, there's 7 that I know are equal contenders from my point of view, and I'm excited, and they're all in the grand champion class.
I love it.
Wow.
Man, yeah, we were talking about that. We were on QBN last night. We were all talking about dogs that we're excited to see, and I threw out a few that I was excited to see because they've, for example, like you've got Mac, who just won BRC Nationals, and then you've got Piggy, the first female #1 ever. Right. And so it's just one of those things where there's all these nuances this year. And so there's so many dogs that we're kind of excited to see, go head to head. And so, this is definitely a year for a lot of fun stuff. So, Blaze's son, Arson, I think he might go into the ring against his own father. So that's fun.
Oh, another father-son duel, huh? Like
That's always fun.
Yeah, Blue and
Blue and Hangman. That's right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Lord,
both of my
Hey,
sons will be there this year, which is exciting for me. And both of my sons have never been in Nashville. So
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. That's it. Okay. All right. No, that's pretty epic.
Yeah, that's what's up.
for me, it is. Yeah, and my brother too. So in his family, so I've had family for the first time that's ever really coming out.
A family affair.
Dude, I can relate to that, man. I had I found my biological brother just in the last year, and him and his family, he's 4 years younger than me, full-blooded brother, and we just found each other, and him and his wife and their 4 kids came to my house for Thanksgiving this year. So like,
oh, that's cool, man. That's really cool.
and then all my kids were here too, so it was epic, man. So I know what it's like to have them all together. It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool story right there.
It was wild, and you see the pictures of them like meeting for the first time, and I mean the resemblance is insane. So it's just there had to be a comfort that kind of eased that initial kind of like tension when meeting, and you're like, you look so much like me that there's nothing eerie about this. There's
it comes natural there, huh?
Yeah, it was really cool, man. It really was. So we've got what countries though that we know of? We've got Italy. Did you say?
Are we talking dogs or people? Because
I know you got we got some dogs coming from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any from Romania this year? Do we know?
Let's say like this: we got dogs coming from Europe, we got dogs coming from Asia, we got dogs coming from South America, for sure. Heavy hitters, dogs that have won major events or major awards. So and they're all grand champions. But yeah, from those 3 continents, for sure.
I've heard whispers of things, people bringing out some Brazilian bulls that are coming from out of town that haven't been seen a lot here.
So check this out. The Brazilian bulls were coming in full effect. We have some there. I sent out 15 invitations for visas because a lot of times we have a lot of overseas people that in order to get their visa, they need some type of an invitation.
Like
so we invite them to this. I'm not going to say anything political here, but they all got denied because at this particular moment, we have a governmental issue going on between our government and their government, or the higher ups per se. Because of that, they're denying visas. So there's a lot of, I don't know, I think so far 10 were denied out of the 15.
I hate to hear that.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's only because of this current situation, which sucks because it's like, it doesn't have anything to do with us.
Right, but it really does put a damper on all the fun that we could have had, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of people coming. There's still a lot of people from Brazil coming. We still have some Brazilian bulls definitely coming, especially the 2 bigger breeders in America will be there with their dogs. And there's still people that are coming without the dogs from Brazil that were able to get visas, but we're coming to spectate. So we still have a nice Brazilian turnout, and we'll have 2 booths on ringside booths that's for them, and they'll be there to talk to everybody. And I think they're going to have like a little TV monitor showing off all their dogs. And so what didn't make it, at least you get a chance to stop by and see. But will be some in the ring though, for sure.
That's what's up.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that I truly enjoy about Nationals and General Sciences. You bring people from a global scale into one building, and you're bringing dogs that there's no way unless you actually go to Euro Nationals or Asia Nationals, you're not going to see these dogs stateside. So it's like one of those things where you've brought them to us, and I think that in and of itself is so worth going.
When you meet some of these people and you realize it's their, sometimes we take things for granted here, you know, because I think, you know, we get things too easy sometimes. But
Yeah.
when you see some of these people and you talk to them, it's like there's people that this is their lifelong dream to come to nationals. I mean, we had Giuseppe here from Italy last year that it was his dream always to come to nationals, and the family for his birthday actually bought him the ticket to nationals.
Wow.
And it was his first time ever, and it was his dream. And there's 3 or 4 people. We have a guy right now, put a post up today named Emil.
From Bulgaria.
From Bulgaria, and he's already there. He's in Savannah right now. You know, as I put the post up. If you run into this guy, say something to him because he knows nobody.
That was cool of you putting up. I like that.
He's not there to compete, so I didn't feel that was political to do that. You know what I mean? So if he was there with a dog, it's a little difficult from my position, but he's just there. So if you see him, you know, say hello to him. Bull Davy, I don't know if y'all know Bull Davy. He is our host from France. He's coming this year. Really sad situation. He lost his son at the show in France last year. His little boy, after the show was over, his wife was in an accident and they lost his child. So he's had a rough. I mean, there's nothing rougher than that, you know. So
there's not.
He's going to be here this year, so we'll do some dedication and things like that. You know, definitely give the guy a hug if you see him. He's a soldier for our community and our breed, and I can't even imagine being in that situation. You know.
What was his name, Dave? What was his name?
His name is on Facebook. It's Bull Davy. Bull Davy. You know, that's his nickname, but you know that's what we all call him, Bull Davy.
I can relate to that as well, man. There's nothing quite like it. My wife and I lost our son, our 18-year-old son. It was a year in September, so it's a little over a year now.
My condolences. That's
it's something, man. It's nothing quite like it.
Yeah, it's. I don't mean to be somber, but I definitely, you know, I mean, it's horrible, man. You know. I'll
tell you, when I've been to a few nationals in a row now, and I'll tell you something about nationals that just makes it different from any other show for me. It's like, you know, as a breeder, as, you know, just a fan, and just being a big part of the bully community as best I can. It's a place where the best of the best come out. And so you really get to calibrate where you're at in your program, what you need to incorporate, what other people are where the effectiveness is at. And you get to see this international professionalism and everybody in our community, you know, from all different walks of life, they get together well. And
the vibe is unreal.
And it's intense, man.
Yeah.
It really raises the bar for me every time, man. Even year after year, it recenters it calibrates me, and I get to looking at breed type, looking at things. I'm like, all right, this is what I need. This is where I'm at, you know, and I love it for that.
And that is the point of an event like that. And I tell you, the vibe is like no other vibe. You go to nationals, you know. If any of y'all were there during that showdown between Hangman,
Electric. Oh yeah,
man, I've never felt
were
energy
actually all
like
there.
That. So y'all know the energy that one. That was that year.
I think Mike and I cried.
Yeah,
it was like an overwhelming energy that, like,
it was.
You've been there, you know what it was. So I expect the same this year, especially when we hit that grand class.
And you know what, Mike, you said something a little bit earlier. You know, when you go to dog shows like this big, that's this big and this caliber of dog, it'll make you want to go home and start over because you have nothing that look like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But look, I feel like that's the point because, and I remember saying this like earlier on when I basically started going to shows. It's like I've been watching dog shows my whole life. That just was part of our Thanksgiving tradition. You sit there and you watch the National Dog Show. But I remember in my head, you know, it just got deeply ingrained that that's what dog shows are for, is for you to showcase your breeding stock, and the judge's sole purpose is to literally assess breeding stock and be like, that's what you need to be breeding to for each respective breed. You know, he's picking the top dog and be like, that's the example of what y'all need to be breeding to for your respective breed. And so that just stuck with me. And so like when you go to a show like Nationals, people aren't bringing they're not bringing train wrecks. They're bringing the best of the best. And so again, just like you said, Bruce, like you walk in there and you're just like, oh, I'm fucked. I gotta
Well, for me, that's super evident when you get into the Grand Champion, that's really where it's evident. I mean, it's when you see the Grand Classic Nationals, you realize, okay, this is the cream of the cream. Yeah. So for sure.
And the other thing is, the bully community is so vast, right? There's so many dogs in so many places, and nobody. It's really hard online to see exactly where your dog is at. So like people think that they got all this and all that, and then they're like, well, let me go see what's going on, right? And then they get there, they're like,
yeah.
shrinking in their shoes, like wanting to hide, like shit.
I'm going back home and using Photoshop again. Yeah, forget this.
So many jokes. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. No, but that's I believe the purpose. And someone had said it earlier in the comments. They mentioned shows like this. Do they push the breed forward? And I feel truly that yes, a show of this caliber where people are bringing that level, that tier of dog, that's what this is it's pushing it forward so that way. And we've told people tons of times, this is like, if you really want to see where your program is at, where the breed is heading, you've got to go to these shows. But most importantly, you got to go to nationals.
It's the 100%. Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah, somebody said it to me earlier today, and I was like, I never thought about that, but it actually is. It's the Super Bowl for the American Bully for sure. Yeah,
that's right.
It is, man.
Yeah. And then people ask me, what is the example of what you all are looking for? I said, just look at the Nationals winners. I mean, that pretty much gives you a ballpark idea of where the breed should be, and it's pretty consistent year after year. Yes. I mean, with the progression of the breed, but it is. So it's where
we've had you on here before, and on QBN there too, and I've had the pleasure of getting to watch both of those interviews and being a part of both of those platforms, this and that one. But I was wanting to ask you, man. So, where do you think, obviously the American Bully is a progressive thing. We're evolving, and some people like the direction, some people don't. Me personally, I love the development, the evolution of the American Bully. I think in the last, probably a little longer, but definitely the last 5 years, we seem to be really dialing in on a different look entirely. It's not even a resemblance to the pit bull anymore. It's its own thing. And how do you feel about that and where we're at and where we're headed?
Okay, so that's a really good question. You pretty much answered your question too.
Low-key.
Ready to jump in. I'm like, okay,
set it up. There's nothing for him to knock down. You've already knocked him down.
Here's the thing about the American Bully. When we started it, we all had pit bulls. I mean, that is what we had, regardless of ancestry or questions. Pedigree-wise, we all had pit bulls. I mean, that's what we had. And when we came up with the concept, truthfully, it didn't exist. The actual dog, only the concept existed. Right. So we had to make that, and it takes a long time to get there. You can't, what they say, Rome wasn't built or whatever. He wasn't built in a day. It's a story because you have to start somewhere and you have to get to where you're going. And it takes many years to build that. And I know there's always arguments back and forth for oh, this isn't what it was. I want it like this. We started with pit bulls. And if we didn't change anything, then we didn't have a new breed. Right. We were still calling bullies on a different name. And that's what people understand. We were calling them bullies, but the concept of American Bully was what we were going to do. Yes. And it took a long time to get there. But if you watch the Nationals winners, you can actually see the progression of the breed. So what I think now we finally are at the look. I think we can finally look at the American Bully and say, okay, this is the American Bully. This isn't a pit bull. This isn't an English bulldog, an old English. This is an American Bully. It's easily identifiable as its own thing. But where I think we are now is we've teetered over the years on getting the look and then getting the health and the different parts of the dog, right?
Hey, man, that's a
now I think where we are is we are at the look. So now it's time to start looking at the other things. Now we need to get the health, the functionality of the breed. We need to smooth that up. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're out there. I mean, I always use Blue, Grand Champion Blue as an example because that dog has it all. He has the look, he's got the temperament, he's got drive. He's not that lazy dog that won't do anything. You know what I mean? But he's also got that mass of the dog you would think couldn't do anything. You
Yeah.
know, that's an American bully. And it's like, I think we finally got there. And there's very few dogs. Well, now there's a lot more dogs on the level of Blue. But at that time, he was kind of leading, you know, the breed at that time. But I think now, now it's time we have the look. So now let's go back and say, let's clean it up now. We have the look. We don't need any more bone. I mean, you can't really go any more than what we have. You know, I think an example of Jack from last year, when people say, how far can you go before it goes too far? And me, like a dog like Jack is the limit. Like Jack was a dog that said, this is it. This is as far as you can go. Because beyond that, it's not going to be functional anymore. Beyond that, it's going to carry too many faults and other bad characteristics. So there is a level. And I think for me, he's at, that's the boundary line.
He's got all the mass
him.
you can have and still have function. Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
and we need to do that now. And we don't
nicely
want to
this year, man. I'll tell you what, Jack's not the loose. Like he still looked underdeveloped even then, even though he was so big. He was very soft. He's lean this year, man.
Matured.
Man, yeah, they've been working him.
There's a picture of him the other night, and he's got some ripples showing and stuff. He's leaned up.
There's a few dogs that have matured. From last year's Nationals, I will talk about a lot of things because I feel like, you know, it's okay to talk about past things. You know, I mean, I'm gonna get into whatever you get into. So I don't you know that. But like dogs like last year when I watched I'll use Mac, for instance. Mac was a great dog, great competitor. But I told them after, I said, give that dog just a little more time to mature. He's not quite at his maturity yet. Give that. And I actually had to tell either the owner or the handler last year, I forget. But I walked up afterwards. I said, give that dog just a little bit more time to mature. That dog's going to be hard to beat. And look, boom. Look what he turned into it immediately.
Hey, Mac is a monster.
Yes, he is.
You know, I saw that
Beautiful.
dog on Noach when I saw him, or you know, and then I've seen him recently. He matured. A lot of these dogs have matured, and so you're going to see some of the same faces with their grown man look on or their grown woman look on now. You know? It's happening this year.
So. From last year to this year. Holy cow.
Piggy's amazing, man.
I mean, it's litters and like just in a general sense growth. I mean, she's man.
Well, I'm partial to females regardless. So when I see a good-looking female dog, that's it for me. Like that's I built my own yard off of females, so I've always been partial to. Yeah.
In 2023, me and these two gentlemen right here got to take pictures with dogs and Dream and Grand Champion Dream. Now that was a beautiful masculine female that really had it all, man. That was the first female I had ever been around that had that level of breed type. I hadn't seen it in person until then like that.
Especially in XL.
Well, and I think she was the first XL female that Grand Champed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing, you know, when people say, "Oh, you can't have this, you can't have it," you can. I mean, it's hard and it takes work and it takes time, but you can do it. I mean, you see it all. You just brought one up right there. I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, and then female, I mean, this breed is a masculine breed, and females are supposed to. We always bred for masculine-looking females. I mean, that was my whole concept anyway. So, I mean, I don't know why people say, "Oh, males stand a better chance." And not in my book. I mean, if a female is looking that good, you know, I mean, males tend to be bigger dogs, but you cannot deny when you got a girl that's looking like strong, muscular, you know, I mean, you cannot deny that on a
when a girl's got it, it's more special, it seems, because
it's super special.
We talked about this on a show last night, and it's kind of like you see it in men more often, but it makes it that much more special in a female dog when you see it.
Yeah, yes, for sure.
Yeah, well, and I look at this common. Yeah, this is. I mean, and this is kind of how I viewed it. And even after the conversations we had last night on QBN, there's always that, you know, it's really, really tough to beat males. And in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, like, all things being equal, she exudes breed type. She has exceptional temperament. She performs, if not outperforms, her male counterparts. And you're sitting here saying that if in that scenario, again, all things being equal, you hand it to the male. Is it because simply he's bigger? And does that kind of fall into that
So
mentality where everyone's sitting there thinking like they always pick the bigger
That's why
dog?
they're giving the females their own category this year.
But let me look it through my eyes. I look at
Yes.
it like this: if you tell me that a male stands a better chance of winning over a female, my thought is then you're bringing the wrong female.
Thank you.
Because when that female does come, which is proven, they win. And not only they win at the highest levels. Maybe you didn't win nationals, but you might have won the top 10, or you might have been the runner-up at this show, or you might have done this. But when they're right, they win. I think it's a misconception to think that they don't, because sometimes it's easier to breed a male for mass and bulk than it is to breed a female. Now, doesn't mean that she's going to be as big, but proportionate to her size, you should still have the same type of, look and everything. So, and when they do, and they're correct with it, they win. I mean, Sweet and Low won. Low won. She didn't win best in show, but she won best in breed. That was a female nationals.
Oh yeah, at Monster Mashup in October, Nakaya and Candy show, a female won best in show 1 under Rolando.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, you just got to bring the right female, and when you do, you'll be awarded. I mean, it's pretty obvious when the female is that nice. I mean, it. Like, when you see a female that makes you stop and turn your head, that's a good female. You will win.
Dogs fighting in the lap over here.
But I mean, back to that. Like, I don't like things, but I don't like to mention dogs prior to an event, because there's always that stigma of, Dave said it, and then if the dog wins, they're like, but
they're all looking at you like this is rigged and everything.
Well, I was prepared for that question tonight, and I wrote down things because I can't tell you how many times the dog I picked didn't win, and it's like 7 or 8 shows nationals that my choice ended up not being the winning choice, but the winning choice was still deserving. It's just when you get down to dogs of high caliber, it's tough, and there's many times I can't tell you how many judges have left nationals like, man, I wanted to bring, I can only bring 1 grand champion into best of breed, but I wanted to bring 3 or 4 grand champions into best of breed, because they were all that close in caliber, and I think almost every judge after nationals will tell you the same thing is like, if I could have brought more, especially from the grand class, if I could have brought more from the grand class into best of breed, I would have. But obviously, it doesn't work that way this show. You have to
it's Highlander. There can only be one, and it
can only be one. But you can tell at the end when you have those judges and you see 4 or 5 dogs and they're still there at the end and they're still back and forth. That's because in that judge's mind, they have not made up their mind.
That's right.
And they're looking
down and back with Joaquin. Like, he was sitting there dissecting. I mean, that man, he was surgical. He was surgical. And it was a beautiful thing to watch. And I just remember, tensions were high. We're all standing ringside. I was with Bruce and Mike, and we were just sitting there thinking like, what is he looking at? What is he looking for? Because
my heart was pounding. I couldn't even hear anything but my heart in 2023 at Nationals that time. Like,
I'm going to tell you,
it was so tangibly just intense. The energy was huge. It was crazy, man. I don't know what it was that year, but like, as a dog fan and advocate, I'm watching and I'm putting myself in the judge's shoes, and I'm like, my eyes are just scanning around these dogs, and I'm like, fuck, how do you pick between these dogs, man? They were so good, and they showed so well, and it was like, Jesus, man, what a race that was.
All worthy. It was definitely tense.
That for me was one of the years that actually the dog I was my choice did not win, but I saw why my choice didn't win. But I could talk about that. Like, that was the year, like, Blue was my dog, because the year that Blue won, that was a different type of year. Yeah. He stepped in that ring with some type of energy that it was,
undeniable.
Man. Yeah, when he came in the year before. I don't know what year that was, but the year Blue won nationals, he stepped in that ring and he was undeniable. He was like, I came to win, and I don't care what anybody says, I'm winning this nationals. And you could feel that off the dog.
Yeah,
you don't normally feel that, but I felt that. So the next year when he came in, I was like, he's more my style, because for me, he's a very clear representation. Like, if you say, what should a standard look like? Blue is a very clear representation. Whereas you have Hangman and
Zeus was there,
and they're both still young, a little bit younger at that size. They've come into themselves since last year. Hangman was looking unbelievable, but
he did.
they were there, but Blue was still. But then when as he kept working him, I started to realize Hangman and Zeus, Hangman and Zeus kept on performing. Like they kept. Blue is
Yes, they
still
did.
performing, but you could see he's starting to get a little bit.
Yeah,
tired. It's not a competition of that.
Is
Like
it still going?
I tell people all the time, it's not about performance because dogs have to perform good enough to be properly evaluated. That's the purpose of moving a dog and getting it in the gate. So when you get a dog into its gate, you can see its top line. You can see that everything's moving right. You can see how it's tracking everything, right? So you have to perform good enough so that a judge can evaluate you properly. But in nationals, it's a little bit different because it's such a big stage. I think in nationals, performance starts to come into play at the end of the event because these dogs they've already been evaluated. They already got that, and they're so comparable in different ways in quality that performance ends up being a factor at an event of that caliber. Mm-hmm. So that year I watched it, and in the end, I swear to you, Blue was my choice the entire time. And in the end, I really watched it. So I was like, the other two dogs, man, Zeus and Hangman performed.
They weren't going to stop. They were not going to stop. They could have kept going.
At that point, I didn't even know what to do. I was just like everybody else. Like, I throw my hands up. Like, it's neither here nor there. They're both deserving. Yeah. Blue still, he's still deserving because he's the most clear representation of a standard in the ring at that moment. But these two dogs are great dogs in their own right, and they're still going. And I was like,
man, walking into stacks, going back down and back, man, it was crazy.
Oh man,
perfect display on both of theirs.
Yeah, the handles.
That's actually the show I met you at for the first time. That's first time I got to come to Nationals, and we had the whole squad there, man. And we went out. There was a restaurant right across the street from the hotel there called what was it, Garden Grace?
Yeah.
Steakhouse in Houston. Boy, we had a table full, man.
The whole place was full.
What they remember of it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, it very much was. Yeah.
No, but that was a great event. And last year was good. Last year it came down to performance again. When you spoke to the judge in the end, and the judge like, you know what? That's a big dog, and that big dog never stopped. That big dog moved more than any other dog in that building. That big dog was at the stack-off stage earlier in the day.
Right.
He was ring there. He moved around that ring more than any other dog in the end. When it came time to who moved around the ring.
I interviewed John right there after Jack won, and and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Jack, they had to put a fan and a blanket on him." But I said, "Yeah, the dude's been 12 rounds, man." Like,
but that was outside the ring, and it's like everything like that's just proper care. Because
exactly.
I was right there. I was close enough to, he was never in danger. He was never hyperventilating.
No.
His teeth, his tongue, his gums, all of that looked great. There was
he
great
did his thing, man.
They did what you're supposed to do. If you're an athlete and you're out there and you go out there and you're doing your thing, as soon as you get off, you're going to hydrate. You're going to cool yourself down, get back in the game again. And that's what they did,
That's right.
It was literally, it was an expedited cool down because the thing is like, for example, you're boxing, right? Everyone they go to the other side of the ring. What's the first thing that everyone does? They're like icing. They're putting towels on. Like they're trying to expedite you.
Agreed.
Well, they're being responsible.
Back into that ring quicker.
Right. Well, they're being responsible because they know we're going back in. So we're going to have to work again. So let's make sure you're at your peak right now. You're hydrated.
Exactly.
Cool, you're ready for round. In that case, you were ready for round 12 or whatever that was.
Woo, bless him.
So, and I got it. That's another nationals. I think, in my personal opinion, Hangman came at a different level. Like I was like, oh wow, that dog matured.
Yeah,
and I really liked that year. But then after it was said and done, and I watched the whole thing, and I saw what happened, I was like, okay, I get it too. I see. We I get it and I understand. So there's plenty of times that I come with a favorite in my own mind, or I come with expectation of this is the dog that's going to win it, and it doesn't win it. So and rightfully, I've never had a situation where I thought the judge was wrong.
I like that.
When you're dealing with high quality dogs and caliber of dogs, you might have a different opinion. You might feel like this one, in your opinion, was better, but in every single case, I've never felt they were wrong. I might have had my favorite, or maybe my favorite didn't perform in the end, or who knows, So
Right. Or they saw something you didn't. And I think, and that goes back to, which we've discussed as well. It's just like, talk to the judges, like find out like why they're putting certain dogs up. And it's just like, that way you have a better idea, because again, they see things differently than we do.
Well, they're seeing things that you can't see from the outside. They're seeing things that you don't even know they're seeing. And that's why
their perspective is different.
Yeah, exactly. And I would love to be like, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. But I know if I say something like, what dogs am I expecting to see? Then it becomes political. And if the dog ends up winning.
You're right.
Yeah, heaven forbid that dog wins. Because
it was staged. It was staged.
Yeah, it was staged. If people only know, it's like we're in the background rooting for our favorite. And I couldn't imagine telling a judge, hey, do this or do this, because to me that would be disrespectful to that judge. Forget everything else. That would be blatantly disrespecting a judge. Like, you can't do that, And
I agree with what you said about Hangman Dave. When he came back the next year, last year, it was the best version of him I had seen to date. He looked better than when he won. I
agree, and even me being a little naive, like, that is the best version of him, but that doesn't mean you're the best of today. And I get it. I do get it. But he did look good though. I mean,
he did. I'll tell you what made Hangman such a unique dog just for me. He has a floating glide where, like, almost like you could serve serve food off his back. Like he could tote drinks into a bar. Like he looks like his feet just move without his back. It's just float.
He's a gorgeous dog.
It's wild, yeah.
But in their own right, Jack did his thing. I mean, we're when you talk to John, and he'll explain it. John's a great. I mean, John's been in the breed since the beginning. He's one of the founders.
I love John, man. He's a great judge.
When we talked to him after Nationals, like, he broke it down for us, and it was just one of those things where, I mean, he's 100% right. A dog of that size with those features to move the way he did for as long as he did was just unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
I mean, he pushed,
and when you're dealing with the caliber of competition, that being a factor, one of the factors that gave him the edge, that's what it is. Because John, being a breeder, understands everything about the dogs. I mean, he understands the makeup of the dogs. He understands everything, and he understands what it takes to build a dog of that mass and that size, still be functional and still be able to move and still be able to. He understands that, and that dog is built. I mean, that tells you, So I agree with the decision, but again, like I said, there's plenty of times when I come in with a favorite or whatever, and it's not always the case. I mean,
everybody gets their favorites and gets their heart in it, and we're all biting our nails for different reasons and stuff in the moment. I'll tell you, I'm proud to have John as an Arkansan, man. He loves where he's at down here, but it's 14 minutes from his driveway to mine, so he's right down the road from me. And,
Yay, lucky.
Well, I tell you one thing about him is he almost killed the handler, though. That poor guy. Yeah. Forget the dog. We need to put him on oxygen.
Yeah. Literally, there's like every picture, like from different angles, you see him like when he's
I was looking around for the defibrillator. I was like, I had to get out here.
Yes, poor kid, man. Oh,
that's a big ring, man. That's a big ring to go around.
Huge ring. It's the biggest that we ever do. That's a 60-foot ring, So
jeez, man.
Yeah, it's a nice ring, but So I'm stoked this year. It's a slow year. It's a weird year. Financially, it's not the best year, and in dog world, this is not our best year. I mean, for so many factors, from the flooding the market during the COVID era to economical, it's not the best year. So I was really stressing a little bit early. I was like, I don't know, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, the community came, they show up in the end, like this past week, I started getting excited, really. And the past 2 days, I started getting too excited. So,
Yeah. Well, and even Pam was just like, we just bought our booth.
I think the dogs, six left. That's it. Spiking back up, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like we had a dip after COVID, but I feel like at the same time that American Bully is finally like locking into its look, I feel like the economy's kind of catching back up, and I feel like the bullies are they're still sought after quite a bit. I think that we got some good things coming ahead. What do
I
you think?
agree. I think COVID it had some negative things in the dog where it made a lot of people a lot of money, and it made a lot of people breeders that should never have been breeders. It made tons of dogs that should have never been made. But I mean, you can't deny that. Just that's what I mean. There was just so much
Yeah, it's
money
not
in
the
the
dogs'
industry.
fault. Yeah.
Everybody either wanted a dog or they wanted to breed dogs, and that became a business of COVID. You know, it's crazy, but it did 3 years worth of damage. Is the way I look at it. Like you have 3 years after where the market was flooded with a lot of not quality dogs. You know, poor quality dogs.
Right.
And sadly, a lot of those dogs had a short longevity physically too, because there was a lot of poorly bred dogs internally that came through that time too. You know, so it's one of these things that we're on the tail end of it. I think next year we'll start the climb, we'll start back up, and I think we're starting to people are really starting to realize quality, and they're starting to really like that thing we're doing right now with the premium pedigree and little things to highlight health disorders within our breed and to bring awareness and consciousness to that. I think it's working, and I think people are starting to realize, hey, like we want to see that if we're buying a dog, we want some type of guarantee that this is a healthy dog, that if we're going to pay this amount of money, that this dog is going to give us 12 years of joy, or whatever, not 12 months of it, So,
dude, I think the premium pedigree is, I mean, dude, straight up, I got to give you your flowers where it's due. I think it's just fucking genius. I think it's the best move, the best thing that could have happened for the American Bully, because it kind of puts an expectation on a breeder that was much needed, man. It's like, hey, if you want to breed, you want to compete at a high level, put that paperwork on it. You know what I mean? Because people are going to start doing it, and then other breeders are like, hey, we got to get on board with this right here, otherwise we're getting left behind. And so it raises the bar. If it's like, hey, you don't have to do it, but you're going to want to do it because everybody's getting down like this right here. Now, this is the level that this has been raised to.
I think
I think it's just a genius idea.
It's definitely the right time. And I'll tell you why it's really the right time is because we fell into this crazy thing where nobody wants to show you their dog in person anymore.
Right.
And nobody cares to look at the health of their dogs. All they were worried about, like, my dog, you pay this amount, you're going to get a puppy and you're going to be able to stud this dog for $15K. And for a short moment that happened. Yeah, for a short moment that happened. But the after effect of that is really weighing in on people because a lot of people bought into these things and it didn't work out for them. And it didn't work out because that was hype, and
That's
now
right.
it didn't work out. But a lot of people bought into dogs that have all kinds of defects and they can't be bred. They're not living. So it was the perfect time to say, you know what, it's time now that we need to be responsible and start looking inside of our dogs, not just
100%.
Yes, and we're at a level now. We got the outside right, so let's get the inside right now.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It's innovative, and I remember when you announced it. Actually, Mike and I had talked about it, and it's one of those things that it is bringing the breed forward. And just like you said, now's a great time to do it because if that starts becoming, that becomes the set. Like people aren't going to breed to other dogs if their dogs don't have that premium, so I think that's definitely heading in the right direction.
It's us as the community. We need to start demanding this. If you're a buyer, you need to demand that because the day of the breeder, and we all know these breeders that like, I'm not going to give you the time of day and you either buy this and pay this right now. You're not getting anything from me. And then people were doing it because they felt like they had no other options. And we as a community need to step up. Like, no, like if we're going to spend this amount of money, then prove to me that the dog has been tested. It's healthy. And not only prove it to me, but bring your dog to an event like Nationals or something like that, so we can actually see this is what we're putting our money on. We're in a crazy time now with AI, like the day of Photoshop and the day of graphic designers. It's over because now AI does it all for you. So now you can just say, hey, here's my dog, and put 20 more pounds on my dog, and that AI will do it for you. You know what I mean? And we can't fall victim as consumers in this industry to where we're just buying dogs off of photos without actually seeing it because it's a scam.
Facts.
Yeah, it is a scam, and it's time to step up and end that error, and let's see the flesh, and let's see the internal parts of these dogs. Let's make sure.
It's the perfect way
Yeah.
to certify a dog, man.
Yes.
It is.
Right.
It is. It's able to say, like, hey, you know, I've got this premium pedigree on this dog. You know, it's put up, so shut up. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, all this hype. There's no hype and there's no nothing. Like, listen, it's here. It's in black and white.
Right.
I can,
Y'all can try to
email
hide
it. I can
Yeah.
email you my dog's premium pedigree. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's
It's a true
a
flex.
perfect way to validate what a dog really has under the hood.
Mhm.
And you know, Raul's big in the genotype, and we've been back and forth about it and talked about both sides of it on both of these shows. And to me, it's foolish not to use the tools that we have as breeders. You want to be able to look at the phenotype and look at what you see, and you can't get around it. It's very, very, very important. But it's nice to know what's under the hood as well.
Well, I think
just like-
it's necessary now to know
It's
what's under the hood. It's
necessary,
not
man.
even nice anymore. It's
You're right.
become necessary.
It is necessary, and the two of them together, it's way more powerful to know. You know, it's just like buying a car. You know, you got to test drive it, and you got to get under the hood, man. Get your brains
100%.
beat out, and that's
Yeah, you got to run the diagnostics, man.
100% on that one. I'm with you. 100%. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it was a great way to do it.
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree.
So
And I notice a lot of people that want more, but you got to look at where the breed is, where it came from, where the community is, where we started, where we're maturing. The breed's maturing, the community's maturing, and as we mature, we will start to do more and more things that are better for the health and all these other things. But you have to start somewhere, and I think this is a perfect start because it's not asking for everything, but it's asking for key things that we already know are a problem. You know,
Right, but we all know that can be fixed if you just put in the work and make sure that you're breeding more responsibly. So
if your dog cannot pass a cardiac test, then you should not be breeding that dog because that's genetic. That is hereditary. And that's going to pass on, and it's going to get worse. You know,
That's unethical, man, for sure.
Definitely. So I want to get back to nationals because there's I feel like there's this being a new city, there's going to be some crazy things happening. One of which was Savannah. This particular weekend, this particular Saturday, there's actually going to be a run, like a 5 and a 10K run on that bridge that goes to and from Savannah proper to Hutchins, whatever island, where the Civil Center is. So everyone's kind of panicking a little bit because they think that road closures mean road closures and that there's there's no way to get to the island. So I wanted to kind of and Dave, I mean, this might be something that I didn't know if you were privy to, but I found this out. I did a little research today. Any kind of road closure is going to be temporary to a degree. The run itself, the 10K starts at 8 on the island. They're not starting from Savannah proper going to the island and back. It's the opposite direction, actually. So the 10K starts at 8. The 5K starts at 8:30. And everything's supposed to be concluded by 11:30 total, like overall. But intermittently throughout that period of time, basically the only time that the ramp from Savannah proper to Hutchin Island or Hutchinson Island, I can't remember the name, is literally going to be until every runner has made it onto the bridge, and then they start opening one lanes. So cool fun fact. Waze. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the GPS app Waze. WAZE.
WAZE. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the city, or either the city or the event planners themselves, somebody decided they were going to put the road closures in Waze. So if you download Waze and you use that GPS app to and from whatever hotel you're in, if you're not staying at the Westin, if you're staying at the Westin, that's basically right there.
You're on the island by that point. Yeah,
you're already there. But no, if you're on the other side of the river, then if you use Waze, it will tell you the best route in the event that exit or that entry ramp from Oglethorpe Drive, which is that main thoroughfare that takes you onto the ramp onto the bridge. It'll tell you when it's closed, when it reopens, and if it's one lane, and then so
Waze will be updated with the lane closures. That's
Yes.
good information to know, right?
Yeah.
that's good because I'm still using MapQuest. So.
Oh yeah. Are you still printing things out, Dave? Like I think I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, wait, you know, we've got solutions for that. We're going to be on the other side giving out life preservers and bathing suits, so everybody's going to be able to get across there.
All right.
I was sitting there thinking.
So check this out. There's a free ferry that runs all the time, so you actually get on a ferry and
Here we
right
go.
over.
Oh, absolutely. Now here's the rub on that one though. There's a slight problem with that though.
Yeah, I know it.
Other than the fact that it's going to be raining that weekend, it's also one of their stops. It's the stop that puts it right in front of where the Marriott Riverfront and the AC Hotel on that historic Riverwalk. That stop, they stopped running it at like 6:30
in the afternoon.
Yeah,
we're not worried about anybody getting back. We're just worried about getting there.
Exactly.
What are you talking about, man? Nobody's worried about getting home. Yeah,
exactly.
We'll figure that out later. Don't worry about that. A couple of these artillery punches, you're not even gonna care about that stuff.
Hey, listen, you take enough of that artillery punch, you can swim a mile.
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. I wouldn't swim
Oh
that
my
river.
gosh.
That river is fast moving and it's brown and there's some big. I've never seen a cargo ship in person until I went there. Holy shit! I was in a hotel. Excuse my language, but holy shit, because I was in the third floor, and all of a sudden I looked out the window and the window is yellow. I'm like, what the hell is yellow outside my window? And I go outside. This thing is like 10 stories higher than the hotel. Like,
my God.
I've never seen ships like this. It's something to see. I mean, these things are crazy. It's fun to see.
Yeah.
Actually. But I talked to them too, and I think what they said is, to be honest with you, they're still going to have one lane available. It's just going to be alternating on that one lane. So I don't foresee any problems. If I was there, I would probably leave early to be safe. We are only talking from downtown Savannah to the venue, a 7-minute drive, period. That's it. It's just 7 minutes. It's literally, when you're on downtown Savannah, you're looking straight across the river at the venue, and it's one bridge that takes you over there. So it's very close. And if you give yourself a half-hour leadway to be safe, I think there's going to be fine. Because they did say, when I talked to them, they're like, no, people will still be able to cross the bridge. It's just going to be that we're going to only have one lane instead of the entire bridge, just for that period of people crossing the bridge. Then the race goes on further. So, I mean, unless I'm one of the runners, then forget it. Y'all ain't never getting it. I definitely cannot get the premium pedigree. I will not pass, for sure.
Oh no.
We got people
hey,
talking about sleeping in the parking lot.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah. Hey, Dave. So
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Hey, I got a question. So Friday, so a lot of people are showing up on Friday. What can people expect on Friday? Did they find a park to do the meet and greet? And what time is the day before setup?
So the setup, I believe, starts at 3 or 4.
Okay.
4 o'clock is set up. So you want to be there at 4 o'clock. Tone is working on the meet and greet. It will be in that area because between the Westin and the venue, there's grass everywhere. There's grass fields all over the place. So there is somewhere right there where people will be able to meet up. The problem is nobody lives in Savannah that's able to go over. Actually, that guy Eli, what's his name? But he doesn't speak English. So never mind. That ain't gonna work. But somebody that gets there early could scout that out and let Tone know exactly. It's gonna be between the venue and the hotel. We know this for sure. We know there's plenty of grass areas out there everywhere. It's just Tone not being there himself and able to see it, can't say, hey, this particular spot. But if you know, I need to talk to Tone too, so he can put that out. But at least if he puts up the times for that, then everybody, as long as you're over by the venue at that time, it'll be figured out, at that time. Because nobody's been there before.
So if anybody that's trying to find out these details when in real time when they happen, you got people asking some questions on here, and I'm just, where do they go to like get the updates for where this is at or what time it's starting or any information they need about Nationals?
On the event page, y'all probably have the link, but if you go on my Facebook page, I pinned the post at the top that has the link page to that. So if you go on my Facebook, Dave Wilson, you can get it there. But there's so many other ways to get to it. But that link's everywhere. But it's the link to the event page, so all that'll be on there. And as far as the meet and greet, I don't know if that'll be on there, but we will start making announcements. All we really need to know is the time, because once Tone finalizes, which we'll have that tomorrow, the time, then all we can say is, hey, around this time, be by the venue, and we'll have figured out which patch of grass we're going to head over to do pictures and meet and greet. And it's nice because then you can go back in the venue for your setup, or you can go over to the Westin and get a drink or whatever. It's it's a little resort hotel, so that's pretty nice. So but it'll be figured out. But for sure, it'll be at the same area between the hotel and venue, which are attached to each other.
Nice.
Yeah, I just posted the event page link in the comments. Now, I know that there's been some banners put up within the last like 48 hours of like narrowing down certain times for certain things. Someone was asking, what time does it start? And I don't know if they meant that for the meet and greet prior, but normally I think if I'm not mistaken, Tone has historically started that between 2 and 3. But obviously this year might be different, but either way, so Saturday, I know that the one thing I saw was that the like national anthem, all that good jazz, that starts at 10 or
we say 10, and we end up normally having to wait till closer to 11 because it's our community. Well, yeah, so and I'm part of the community, so I'm part of the problem too. But we need to be a little more prompt. For an event of this magnitude, we need to be prompt. So we really, really want people to be there by 10:30. That's when it starts. And it's a great time because Nationals is more than just a show. I mean, we really highlight the community, the dogs, the top, everything we do. So when you get there, we have a ceremony in the beginning. And the ceremony, I mean, first of all, we're going to highlight a veteran every year. We highlight a veteran or wounded warrior. And then we also highlight all the veterans because, again, I mean, those are the people that have put their life on the line to defend the lifestyle that we live. So we feel like the veterans always need to be recognized, and it's our opportunity to say thank you in our community. So we do that. We have quite a few awards. Like this year, we're having an award for the dog that has produced the most titled dogs in ABKC of all times. That dog will be there in the building, and we will be awarding that dog. We're going to surprise the community.
I'm ready to see that.
Man, me too.
Yeah, we have a kennel breeder that has produced the most titled dogs for a kennel, breeder. So that's going to be an award this year. Of course, we're going to award the junior handler of the year, the top junior handler of the year. They get their award that day. We do the top 10 parade of all the top 10 breeds. And then we award the winners, the dogs that actually competed all year long and became the number one dog for that breed of that year. So we do that part of the award ceremony. Obviously, we honor other people for other things in our community, and then the national anthem. And, that's right when that ends. Who knows, that takes about an hour. When that ends, the junior handlers start immediately once that ends. And then from junior handlers, it starts rolling. Once the juniors are done in ring 2, then the other breeds start in ring 2. And in ring 1, the American Bullies start. And it just rolls from that point on. There's no break,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
3 o'clock, we're going to have a stack off area, which I know there's always drama in and out, like, oh, this is national. We have always done something at Nationals to highlight other dogs that are American Bullies, that like extreme dogs. They're a great part of our breed, and those all breeders know that you need those dogs in your program at some point. So we highlight different things. So this year we're going to do it'll be fun, and it's going to be the extremes, micros, and then we're going to do hopefully a stack off between the XLs and the Brazilian Bulls. That would be really cool. I love that idea. Yeah. And then we're going to do a junior handler stack off competition over there too, just to see who can, like this for fun, So, but June Williams is coming. He comes every year. He's actually been a avid supporter of ABKC for the past 3 years. He comes on his own dime, and I got a lot of respect for that. And he does his own events, the Jungle Rumble in Jungle, and it's a cool thing. I mean, I like it because it's not a sanctioned show by a registry, and it does a lot of things that we as ABKC we really can't. And it's cool, and he gets a lot of respect. So he's going to be there. So I brought up this show. Say, hey, if you would like to do this, it's great because you're really good at what you do, and the community really loves you, and it's also a good promotion for your upcoming event later on in the next year, his event. Yeah. So we think that's going to be a fun time, and I have a lot of respect, and we have a lot of respect for each other. So I think that's going to be another little fun thing to do at Nationals. Besides the national event. And that'll be wrapped up before the champions start. I asked me and June, I said, that has to end because that's going to be hype because that people are going to flock over there too.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hype, but that hype got to end before the champion side of hype starts.
Absolutely. It's going to be picture to see people like shifting.
Yeah, it's funny. It's how that goes. But we live stream every year, and that's another costly thing because we have the big monitors there. We have actual cameras posted up in each ring, real professional, rotating cameras, and then we move one over to that thing during that period of time. And so the people who can't be there, which I don't know, you should only have one or two excuses that you can't be there. You really need to be there. But we do offer live streaming. I hate advertising that because I don't want anybody to get lazy and like, I'm just going to watch the live stream. No, you get to be there in person. It's a different game.
Exactly. You feel it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's an energy like you all know. So, but yeah, that's another thing that we do. And then once it gets in that grand time, it's, it's once the grand start, it's on.
It's on.
Oh, it's crazy from that point on. And even when that's over, once the other winners of the other breeds come in and it's best in show, and we have some really cool breeds this year. I mean, this year, we have some Dobies coming. We got Brazilian Bull the first time ever in the ring at a Nationals. Dachshunds. We have Dachshunds, this year.
That one, I'm not going to lie, that one weirded me out a smidge, but I'll take it. I mean, it's nothing against the breed. It's just like, Brazilian Bull, American Bully, Shorty Bull, French Bulldog, Dachshund. So it's just
we are an all breed registry. We always look at it like this. We're an all breed registry, and our community are dog lovers. And in our community, we have breeders that have other breeds,
Right.
And we want to give spotlight to whatever we can in our community because it's not just ABKC is not just about dogs. It's not just about the American Bully. It's not just about dogs. The thing about ABKC that differs from AKC, differs from UKC is the community. We're a different community. We're a way more diverse community than anywhere else. I mean, we're a true international community. We have so many things in our community that's different. Our vibe is different. The way we do things is different. I mean, we're big on awards. We're big on the look of things where they're not. They're different. So we have a lot of things. I kind of look at it like we're a new generation type of movement and registry that, I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, and I think that should be opened up to as many dog breeds as possible because sometimes people don't get to experience that. Maybe because they have this type of dog, they'll never experience the atmosphere of what we are. And
we got more flavor, baby.
We got every flavor you can think of. You know what I mean? And that's ABKC. And it all tastes good. That's the thing. Like when you walk in, it's like it's love. It's love everywhere. It's always that way.
I just love all the diversity we have in ABKC, man. Our culture in the bully community all the way around is just, like you said, it's a next level, next generation thing, man. We really have a different vibe than any other registry, than any other, all these other big registries been a long time. We got our own thing. It's not, I don't want to say inner city, but it's like a
melting pot is what it is.
It is, man. It's like a melting pot. Such a collage.
Everything. Yes, but a beautiful melting pot. It's like, because it's love. It's like anything that people have issues out there, they don't come in here. When you're in here, that stuff is, this is all about love and all about coming together. So, I mean, I love that. And that's kind of the thing that you don't want to turn that off to other breeds because some people will never experience that. And our judges are competent judges. And once we have standards and we can revise them to fit enough for what we're doing, the judges can understand them. There's no reason why any other breed at their top level can't compete in our type of events, Right, so that's it, and it might be something that takes off with other breeds and some it might. But at least if we have the offer there, we're opening up our community to more people. And I think that's a beautiful thing because anything that brings people together is a positive thing, and that's what we are, so. That's why we look at it that way, not just as, hey, this is just bull breeds,
Oh,
everybody loves a wiener dog anyway.
You're so cute. So when it comes to these, like adding these new breeds, especially like again, a Dachshund isn't obviously it's not a bully style breed. So
don't tell them that though. They think they are.
Oh, they really do.
Yeah.
They care like Son Kennels, Weenie Dog, like it's crazy. But so when it comes to getting those breed standards to your judges, are you getting those breed standards from like one of the other registries like AKC, UKC, or are you pulling those breed
Yeah,
standards from those
we
their
tend to
actual breed clubs.
Yeah, we what we do is we work with the parent registries, and we take the parent registries basis of their standards. There's a few cases where, like, there's some breeds that are identifiable by their patterns and their colors, and that's that breed. You don't touch that. But there's some breeds that come in a variety of colors, and the registries don't always accept the variety of colors. Let's use the French Bulldog, for instance, or the English, and a lot of these breeds have chocolate in their line. They have blues in their dogs, and breeders to have them, they just don't show them. And in those situations is the only time we might be a little lenient and allow more of a color variety in a breed that currently has those colors anyway, and that's the only case that we might modify a standard. But it would only be in a situation of a breed that comes in more colors that the breed actually has in their line, but maybe those aren't accepted for competition. Like AKC, you can't compete with it, but they still allow certain breeds to breed them. You just can't compete in them. So that's the only difference we have, but we're not trying to change their standards in any way, shape, or form. So when you see the Doberman standard, it's the AKC Doberman standard. When you say the Dachshund, it's the AKC Dachshund. And then we have some bull breeds, like the Odie. Actually, we use the IOBA. I think what was the first, one that we did with that. So, we created the American Bully standard in that breed, but we're not looking to create new breeds. We're looking to work with their parent registries or the breed clubs and give them another platform, but we're not looking to alter them.
Good. I love that, man. That's
said.
right.
Yes, hey, I like it. Hey, so break down the best of show lineup. What all breeds are going to be in it this year that you know of?
Wow, I should have studied before this test. Man.
I want to picture this because, man, it's exciting. We're 4 days away.
Yeah, so let me give you what I'm 100% on. The American Bully will be in the building. 100% sure. The Shorty Bull will be there. The French Bulldog will be there. The English Bulldog will be there. Obviously, we said Doberman, and we've said the Dachshund, and we've said what else? Brazilian Bull. First time. I don't know. Sometimes we have Bull Terrier. Sometimes we have American Pit Bull Terrier. Sometimes we have Amstaffs. I think Pit Bulls for sure this year. I'm not sure if the Amstaff or the Bull Terrier is this year. I would have to check on that one. The English, obviously, we'll definitely have English there.
Old
English. I believe that's
Oldie.
Yeah, the old English.
Did I say that? I didn't say that. No, that's
what
because I am an oldie and I can't remember everything. So I thought I said oldie. I thought that was one of the first ones I said.
He wouldn't pass that test either, so don't put that on the premium category.
If we're relying on my memory, we're both up shit creek. I mean,
it's not even that I forgot. I actually thought I said it, so that's even worse.
What's bad is that I don't remember if you did. I just was like, sure you did.
I did play it back. I'm pretty sure I did.
I know, seriously.
They go Caleb flexing their arm again, man.
Hey, man, I'm sorry. It's hard to hide them. That's
what we know what you did when you went off camera. Now he went over there and he did the old Bashar. Went off camera.
A couple push-ups.
Yeah, he got a little curveball over on the side. Yeah.
My God!
The reason we were kind of curious is we actually we know Miss Connie. She actually I want to say
in
Connie
the comments.
Yes, so she has some gorgeous bull terriers and plenty of them. And so I know that for a second there, we were kind of curious to see if she was going to go. And then there was a question of whether or not there was going to be a class for them at Nationals. So it's definitely something to kind of look into.
Well, we've had them before, and I'm back to that time where we're talking about who my choice was, and my choice hasn't always won. There was 1 year. I don't know what year it is. I mean, my memory's not the greatest at all if I have one. But there was 1 year, there was an oldie. I swear, that dog to me, that was best in show. I like, man, that oldie. I mean, I understand when a bully wins a lot of times because the bully has to go through way more competition to get to the final than all the other breeds just because of the amount of dogs there are. So you have to, in some regard, understand like the bully fought through a lot of competition to get here, whereas the other breeds didn't have as much. But it's still the best dog of every breed. But there was 1 year, and I think the Bull Terrier got second. And I was like, that was a damn good Bull Terrier.
Yeah.
She makes some beautiful ones. So it would be such a shame not to see them.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I love them,
Old
man.
English
That's one of my
Bulldog's
favorite
gonna be
breeds.
there
I love
this year
that
that we
Jared.
looked at last night. I've never seen an Old English Bulldog quite like the one that we looked at last night. It
Ludicrous.
was
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Ludicrous, yeah.
beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
dog.
Oh
Jesus,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
that's the
Ludicrous is
biggest.
good. There's another one that I posted not too long ago, either this morning or last night. But I want to say it's Predator Bullies Rampage. Damn, like also very impressive.
Well,
Old
I will be surprised to see. I will tell you what. I went to Virginia show I don't know, last month. Chris Moore and Gina Moore threw a show here in Richmond, and I went down there and saw. I'd never seen so many oldies in my life. They had like almost 40 oldies in that ring.
Uh-huh.
Good looking dogs. I was like, we need to get all these dogs at Nationals because there was that was an oldie show. I mean, that's where the oldies
Substance.
came out and gave the American Bullies run for the money and the amount of dogs they were there. There was quite a few oldies, and I saw
We
some.
got a big oldie show coming up in Arkansas in the next few weeks.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
I remember reading that.
Well, they were there, and that show at Chris's, I was actually shocked. I was like, "There's some really
Good looking.
oldies."
Yes.
I mean, good looking to the point. Like, damn, okay, if I'm not an American Bully guy, I know where I'm going. Yeah. But I can't do that to my breed. But yeah,
That mass, that muscle that they were all carrying, man, it was different. I saw it.
when they write, they write. That's the best way I can word it.
Yeah.
Well, you
When they
got to
look
think
good, they
that
look dang good.
that size that we're talking about, that bully size that's in those oldies, man, that's part of what made the Brazilian Bull this thing that it is.
Yeah.
It did, yeah. You will see. He's probably not competing at. You know what? I can't say anything because I don't know who's competing and who's not. So I don't even want to, No, but you're gonna see you're gonna see a couple of those Brazilian bulls that'll blow your mind.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, we've had a question a few times now. I got to ask this. All right. Is there any plan for Fluffy?
So here's the thing with the Fluffy. We allowed it for registration if it came with AKC paperwork because it was a trait in the breed. We did follow their standards since they didn't allow it to be competitive, for competition. Then we followed that suit too. It was a period of time when it was being pushed. But it's kind of fading back out. I don't think we've ever really been in a position where we thought we were going to add it. I'm not the expert on the French Bulldogs, and I tend to put that back on the true French Bulldog community and what they feel about it. It's like if you came to me with a a furry bully or whatever you want to call it, hell no. Hell no. But the difference is, I know that's not in our blood.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, yeah.
Well, I know it's not in our breed. However, in the French Bulldog, there's a huge debate, and I've listened to this debate over and over from all kinds of people. And yes, it's in the breed. Whether or not it was, kept popping up or didn't, and somebody had it, that I don't know because it's not my breed. It's not my expertise. The gene is there. The gene is not in the American
They've
Bulldog.
got some genes that are there in the French Bulldog that that are kind of shocking, but they're in there.
Yeah, and see, I just don't know enough about the breed on that type of stuff. I know about the breed standard, and I can look at a Frenchie and tell you it's a good Frenchie or not a good Frenchie, but I'm not knowledgeable enough in all the history behind it and the genetics in it. And that's not a breed I've ever put my personal hands on as a breeder. So I don't really know. And I kind of defer that back to its parent registry and its breed club, and I think that's the respectful thing to do in that situation.
That's fair. I like that.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And I remember Chris James at one of the, I think it was at Monster Mashup. He was having a conversation with a friend of ours because she shows and breeds fluffy Frenchies. And so she was asking him very earnestly, like, hey, so what's the process look like for trying to get ABKC to acknowledge?
So I would tell you how I personally think that would go. I personally think that if you had a breed club that started for this and they separated themselves from the actual French Bulldog and it became its own thing, and then they had, they had a history of pedigrees of it or lineage of it and history of a few years and generations of consistency with Fluffy on Fluffy and Fluffy, and it's only Fluffy. And they did the due diligence to create it as its own thing and then came back to us with, the history and everything behind it and then presented it that way, I think that would be the way that it would work, because then it would be it would be its own breed at that point in time. And when you isolate the genes to where they're only producing fluffies, then you've now taken it far enough that it's no longer what it once was as a French bulldog, into it being its own thing now. But that takes a breed club and breeders that are saying, we're going to separate ourselves from this. We're going to spend a few years and generations of building this as its own thing, to where genetically this is what it reproduces. And then we have a standard and we have these things. And then you come back to the registry and say, hey, here we are. We've got 4 generations here, and 4 generations of consistent fluffy in this, and then we want this to be established as its own breed. That is more of the direction ABKC would be interested in looking at it, not so much as just a variety within the French bulldog.
Aha. Good. Yeah, because that does feel like it can be somewhat confusing, because there are other breeds that are very, very similar to that, where like the other coat style or length has to ultimately become an entirely separate breed. It still retains
the Jack Russell.
You have the Jack Russell, the Parsons, and then you have the wire hair. Collies, you have the smooth coat, and then you have the actual collie. And so it's like bearded collies, like they retain very, very similar breeding. But the thing is at one point, what made its coat different makes it different enough that it can't be the same breed anymore.
Yeah. And those type of genes, all breeds were created by blending other breeds, and those type of genes tend to stem from something back when another breed was introduced. And that's fine. You do introduce other breeds to create breeds, because that's how you create them. They don't just change, over,
yeah.
Air, so that's typically people are like, but that's my argument with the American Bully all the time. Is people like the lineage behind the American Bully, it's not purely true pit bull. And this, I was like, well, you know what? The American Bully started at day one with this. Whatever was behind it is behind it. But where we took it is what created the consistency of it being its own thing. The other stuff irrelevant in the background, because that was prior to it becoming a breed.
It's on now.
And once you become a breed, that's when it becomes important, because once you're established, then you can't do those things anymore. And that's where I draw the line. Is I don't want to introduce something new now because it's established. You should have done that in the beginning. So anyway, I kind of feel that way with the fluffy. It's kind of like, it's a trait that's in there, but it obviously comes from something in its origin and probably in more recent years, newly introduced things. That's just my guess. But I think if they wanted us to acknowledge it, I would rather bring it in as its own thing. But I don't want to just say, okay, you're a fluffy, come on in as first generation of this. No, that's not our job. That's a breed club's job. You all work with it for a few years until you've established a breed that can consistently reproduce just that, So
I like that.
That's the right way to go about it. Yeah.
When you start having entire fluffy litters and you start getting a consistency in the lineage and all, that's like where this dog is producing only this dog. Then that's I agree. That's to the point where it's
and that takes a program, and it takes generations, and that's something a lot of people aren't willing to do, because for the first 3 or 4 generations, you really can't do much with it. You can't, compete.
Well,
but that's
I'm
part
gonna
of
tell you
it.
another thing that makes it less likely with the French Bulldog in particularly is because of all the breeds, that seems to be the one that that has, like, the French Bulldog community shifts with trends a lot. And so like there'll be different looks and different things trending for a short time, and it's a pivoting thing. It seems to migrate in different directions, and first it's the pinky is hot now, and then it's the fluffy, and then the wiry, and then it's and it's like every time you think what's hot, it's something different in that particular
those are like, they're little fad things, and it happens in so many breeds, and those things they make money at first because it's rare, but in actuality it's not really rare. It was just somebody, this is what they've bred for, and however they did it. But those are fad things, and they come and they go pretty fast, and you don't want to invest in a fad, because a fad, it's an overnight thing. It might, it might burst for a minute and then all of a sudden crashes, and it's like, you don't want to invest in that. And it's not our job to really create new breeds. I mean, we created our breed, and that's why we started. But we didn't set out to create other breeds. You know,
So if a breed holds enough to where there's consistency in the pedigree and in all that, and it becomes its own breed, then it's like, okay, then y'all can present it, bring it to the table,
exactly.
and we'll
Yeah,
take a
just
look
like
at
they
it.
did with the Shorty Bull. I mean,
Right.
that is how the Shorty Bull came to ABKC. We didn't create the Shorty Bull. Amy and Jamie created the Shorty Bull, and you know, they were together for a period, and then they both split. And a long story short, but it was introduced to us, and we just brought it in with their standards. You know, at the time,
I think it's a really cool breed. I love them, man. They're cool.
I love them too. I just wish they would have stayed together and progressed together, because we're kind of in a situation where we gave a good platform for the breed, but then we've also been in a situation where we're kind of like handed a breed and we're not getting the help from the background anymore. And it's like, you know, like we don't want to alter anything. We wanted to work with your breed, you know. So luckily there's enough people in our community that are purists with that breed and have kept it going through ABKC. And now we've kind of fallen back onto the hands of the breeders within our community, you know. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, which I feel
Tom
like
and,
really good one.
isn't that guy's name Tom? John was telling me there's a guy, I think his name's Tom. He's at the top of his he's always in the ring with John with the Shorty Bulls. I can't think of his name.
There's Connie Thompson too. I mean,
Connie too.
Yeah. So there's diehards that have been there.
Connie's got Bronco and some of those
Christopher
other dogs.
James.
Yeah,
that guy. Yeah, I forgot.
What was he? The official what?
Chris
said he was the official spokesman of the ABKC.
He gives himself a new title every time I talk to him.
I'm gonna tell you something about him. He is a damn good spokesman.
He is, man.
And
has a memory like I don't know where he got his memory from, but I swear to you, I see him in Nationals every year, and he's denouncing. I'm like, how do you remember the names of all these dogs, man? Like, where are you real? You know, I think he's AI or something. Yeah, because he's like, how do you?
Dude,
Christopher GPT or whatever his name is.
No, and he absolutely loves a good time, and he gives a good time, and that's one of our favorite things about him is he's playful too. So it's like
he's playful, he's intelligent, and he's a wealth of knowledge. You know, so he's a blessing in our community. I think he's one of my favorite people in the community. So if he can be the spokesman for ABKC, because many times he is the spokesman for ABKC. I mean, he really is, you know. So he does a lot of writing for us, and he's done a thing. So he's definitely a spokesman for the ABKC for sure. Yeah.
His writing is so good too. Like you really read it. Yeah. Like man, he's so articulate.
But National, he's my favorite for Nationals because he keeps it going.
Hilarious, man.
Plus, he knows. I mean, he knows our community, but he knows the dogs too. Like he really knows his thing. So I'm a fan of Mr. Bully the Kid. Yeah. Not a fan boy, but a fan. Yeah.
Right.
Very important to make that distinction. Again, don't feed the animals.
No, definitely don't feed the animal.
Yeah.
God, man, I love having you on, Dave. This is always just it's so fun. It's so fun.
I love y'all show. You guys actually have a really fun atmosphere here. So for me, I always have a good time. Whenever I know I'm coming to your show, I know I'm going to have a good time. Normally I would have a drink, but I did too much at Thanksgiving. I swear I'm on a 6-day hangover right now.
6 days.
6-day hangover.
Man, are you ready for the artillery punch?
I hope I'm going to be ready. I literally drank on Thanksgiving and haven't touched anything. I can't even think of alcohol right now. So I'm hoping I'm there.
You go through stages sometimes. I'm telling you,
it changes. The older you get, look, big uncle over there laughing. You know what I'm talking about. The older you get, though, it's different.
It's different.
It's a little harder.
It ain't the same.
It hurts for a lot longer the older you get, don't it?
6 days on this guy. Yeah. And it was up with champagne. It wasn't like I was drinking hard liquor or anything. I just drank champagne, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Candy was asking what the name of that drink you were talking about. I think is it Chatham Artillery Punch?
The actual name is Chatham Artillery Punch, which basically means whatever they had back in them days, they poured that shit all together, and that's what they had. There's no way I'm drinking it. I like it. And then after I read everything, and it says, and then you add a case of champagne before you serve it to it. I'm like, this is
Yeah, we're all gonna die. Yeah, because I mean, it's like 3 different types of liquor, 2 different types of wine, and it is insane.
Yeah.
You're just reading.
I tell you what it is. It is 100% Robitussin. That's what it is.
Multitussin.
Y'all got you feeling under the weather, got a cough. This gonna set you right up. Yeah.
Clear you right up.
Gone into the bone there. Oh, Multitussin. Oh, Lord,
Sip slowly and put a lot of ice in it. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
That's one of those like I'll try it once, but I want to live.
The worst part is they have to make it 3 days in advance. So they ask me how many people are going to want it. So I put up the poll and I'm like, I don't know. And then we had about 40 people. So I said, 50. Now I'm thinking we probably should have made more, but yeah. So get it.
Mercy. I don't know. I was making the joke earlier. I was just like, you're going to start to see like my lives, like all of a sudden it's going to go
That's why I told the handlers, do not touch this if you're handling dog.
Yeah.
No, but it's a nice little slow sipping. I mean, it's famous for that area. I forget the movie, but it's a movie that's based in Savannah. Have you ever watched that movie? I cannot remember what it's called now, but anyway. Yeah, it's a good movie.
So it's a traditional drink in that.
Yeah, it's solely Savannah. It's
I like
born
that.
and raised there. They made it there, and that's what they still to this day have as their drink. I learned all this when I was down there in the land of 70 some bars or something in a 5 mile radius. Yeah.
I like that.
It's a cool place. I ain't gonna lie. It's a place of a lot of history, and it's a place that embraces its history. You know, we live in a time when people want to erase things, do things. They embrace it all. They're like good and bad. It's like, this is what we are.
Well,
good things happen here, bad things happen here, but we became a community here out of all of this, and we just embrace it and drink this nasty red stuff to celebrate it. You know? Yeah.
They can't remember their history because they drank it all.
That's probably why. Yeah.
Holy shit.
2 sips of that, we don't care what happened here. Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
It's a city of a lot of history, and like I said, good and bad. I mean, there's a lot of things happen in Savannah, but the culture is cool, man. It's just like it's just laid back and just, you know, like it's a cool little city, man. It's got a cool vibe to it. So
absolutely. And I was doing some research because like so I know that obviously the island where like the Westin and the convention center is, on the other side of the river, that's that river walk, and then the historic district directly behind it. It like there are tons of food and beverage options there. So it's sort of like if there's gonna be after parties, that's probably really where it's gonna be at, would be my guess.
Yeah. I don't think there's even going to be a set after party. I think you just go down that area and you'll get into something. Yeah, I was walking around and I was like, this is just crazy. Like I went through this one area, like steep. I don't know, there's some horrible stairs there, so be careful of that though. There's some. There's definitely some.
It is not for the weak. It is definitely
There's certain parts you get downtown and everything turns to stone. Like everywhere you go, like the sidewalk, everything. So. Be careful out there because
that sounds beautiful, though.
Nah, it is beautiful. It's a cool spot. It definitely spend some time there if anybody gets a chance. Like going down to the city walk and all that. That is probably more tourism, but there's a lot of cool stuff and a lot of great bars. But just stepping a little bit further outside just to see it. They have like beautiful parks out there. It's a cool place.
Yeah.
How big is the venue there?
Huge. The venue is huge
compared to Houston. I mean,
it's bigger.
Oh my God.
It's
Houston is
different.
Huge.
I take that back. Houston is big, but it's just square. You know, This is like a round, you know, thing. And it's literally on the water. Like when you walk out, I don't even know. When I went there, I couldn't figure out where the venue was because the hall, because it's different halls, but it's an old venue and a new venue all attached into one. The old venue is even prettier from the outside. The new venue is prettier on the inside, but you won't know because it's all in one. But it's a big, pretty venue.
Houston's what, 40,000 feet? I mean, 40,000
feet. Yeah. I think Houston's definitely bigger, but Houston's just square. So it's like this one's got more character, if that makes sense. It's big, but a lot more character to it. Yeah. And just being outside is like, as soon as you step outside, you're literally on the water. And it's a cool place for dogs. It's a dog city too. Like everywhere you went, you saw dogs. So it's definitely a dog-friendly city. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
That's what's
now,
up.
Are you staying Riverside, or are you staying on the island?
So when I went to visit there, I stayed on the other side, not on the island, because that's where everything truly is. This time we'll be staying on the island because, unfortunately for me, I don't get to do anything but work. So
Right.
by
Yeah.
the
You
time we're
gotta
done setting up and all that, it's bedtime. And then next thing you know, we're hitting the ground running. Next thing you know, Nationals over and it's bedtime. Next thing I'm back on a plane flying home. So, this is the one event I don't get
Yeah.
to actually sit back and enjoy the whole thing. It's a lot
Then
of
you'll
work.
have the red punch muddy in the water in there somewhere.
Yeah.
oh, God.
That's why I like Houston, though. We got papados. I love some papados. So
I do too, man.
Oh, yeah. That's a good stop.
they
Like
got
after
the
bed,
swamp
you
thing
always
is
got
their
something
drink.
there.
Yeah.
Well, they
Huh?
have that saltgrass grill there. Is it saltgrass? I think it's also
Yeah,
around
that's
the venue at Houston as well. So that's also super convenient. So
And I can't even tell you in Savannah because it's everywhere. I mean, literally if you're on the other side downtown, it's a plethora of bars and restaurants everywhere you go. So
Yep.
I can't tell you what's good or what's not because it's overwhelming. It's actually kind of a sensory overload when you get over there. So yeah.
Caleb, where was that place we went, man? Where they had like different levels down in.
Yeah,
There
that
was
little
like 2 or 3
downstairs
restaurants
diner.
in one building right there in Houston.
I don't
And
know.
you go in and there's like downstairs and then there's some hamburger joint down in there.
Yeah, I don't know what it
Underground or
was
something.
called.
I'm
Yeah.
from
Underground or
places
something.
I've
wasn't
never been.
what'd you say, Bruce?
Man,
it? It's underground.
there
Wasn't
was
it
all
underground
kind
or
of like
something?
graffiti on the walls and
Uh-huh.
yeah, that place was dope.
You've gone places I've never been. So I
Yeah.
got the hotel, papados, and the venue all together. That's all I need to know there. But yeah.
That's what it was called.
We walked
We
from
was
the
all
Hyatt,
together.
so it wasn't too far.
I was with y'all?
No,
Oh, okay. Ooh. Damn. Yeah.
No,
How much of
no,
a punch did you drink
Yeah,
that day? Damn, babe.
He's looking at me. Look on my camera, looking at me.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
We're like, we're all together. I'm like, I really
You
don't
don't
remember this.
no, we all went to we went there
the name of it was Underground.
Yeah,
underground. That was
underground.
Like
it.
literally
Yeah.
underground.
Oh,
Wow,
it's
that was tough.
It was actually called Underground. Yeah.
I didn't get
Yeah.
to see that
It was
one.
Don't
like
know how y'all
5
came up with
restaurants
that.
in one building at different
yeah.
levels and stuff.
It was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm sure everybody's gonna have their own story after Savannah, so everybody's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
find their own something there.
Oh, for
Well,
sure.
we'll all see each other, but I'm sure we're all gonna have our own adventures. So
That's
Oh,
the other
right.
yeah.
side's cool. That's where they have all the river boats and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's a really cool spot. I really think that people are gonna have a good time over there.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
And that's one thing I'm looking forward to is kind of exploring a new city because, being in Houston, like we've gone to the last 3 that were in Houston and you kind of get to know that area. And, it has the places that you have to absolutely hit, you create traditions and things like that. But being in a new city, you get to kind of create
Explore.
these new,
Yeah.
absolutely. And just kind of get out of your comfort zone. And for some people that's pretty intimidating, but for me, like I love to travel. I especially love going overseas and everything and trying, things that are completely out of the comfort zone so that way you can really kind of get a feel for the locale. But this is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good time. I think it's going to be a memorable Nationals. They all are, but I think this one's going to have its own thing to it. I think we're going to have its own energy to it. So I'm really, really excited about the grand class. I cannot tell you enough because, like I said, there's 7 dogs in my own mind that I've seen that I can't even tell you which of the 7 I would pick. That's how tight it's going to be. Yeah. And those are just the ones I know of. Who knows what else is going to be in there that I didn't expect, or I just know for sure 7 solid dogs that none of the 7 are any better than the other. They're all great, and they're just different. So it's I don't think I would want to be. Alex is going to have his hands full. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Is that in the standard class or is that?
This is grand champion, and the 7 I'm talking about, we're talking a couple females and 5 males, and most of them are the pocket and standard. There was an XL that's not coming out. Wish was coming. I cannot remember the dog's name, but it was gorgeous. But yeah, just alone in the grand class, there's 7 dogs that I couldn't even tell you. I don't know who my favorite's going to be yet because all of them are great. And it depends on the day. It's like over the years, we've had dogs that have flown from overseas that I knew when they got here. Like there's a dog named Apollo. I don't know if ever y'all saw Apollo. A gorgeous freaking dog. But when he got here, the condition wasn't good. He had surgery on the tongue or something happened, and he just overheating. And it's like, damn.
Okay.
Or
different Apollo than the one this year.
This was a chocolate dog that was coming from Spain. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I saw the dog
in
in
Apollo
Spain.
this year too.
Okay, that's a
There
different
you go.
Impala. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
this year, dog. I'm talking about,
That's an XL, Dave. That's definitely, that's one of
and I'm
the.
excited to see that because they're coming. But again, there's another dog one year named Aaron from Italy. Another gorgeous dog. And I was like, oh, Aaron's going to take this when he gets here because, I mean, he was gorgeous. But then he got here and lost so much weight from the travel.
Oh, no.
He didn't look good. So there's all this type of factors that could happen. You might be thinking like, I seen him, he's ready. And then, something didn't happen. The dog got sick. The dog wasn't eating. You just never know, what could happen, So that's why it's any man's game or any woman's game.
And then you've got the factor of like the dogs, because they know, man. I don't think if people haven't been to shows, they don't realize how much of that the dogs really understand. And they know they're competing. They know that there's expectations on them there and that they're doing their dance and that the dogs that they're in the ring with are, who they're competing against. They understand that.
Yeah.
And you never know who's going to choke at the Super Bowl. You just don't.
That's like stuff we talked about. You just don't know.
That's right.
The dogs get nervous. The people get nervous. The handlers get nervous. There's a lot of factors there that really affect the dogs.
And the handlers and the owners,
And the owners and the
I
handlers.
seen people on the outside looking like they were going to pass out. Yeah, I seen Hangman's owner. We had to give him a chair, that one year because he looked like he was going to go down.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, bless him. Well, and then we were talking to Carlos, he's the handler of Notch, and he actually he was telling us how, the way he likes to do it is he likes to arrive like a week or two in advance of the actual event so that he can acclimate the dog. Like we're talking getting their eating habits back to good, getting them centered, making sure that they get used to the climate, to the, the environment around them and everything like that. And I was like, God, brilliant.
That's the smart way to go. The worst thing you can do is try to fatten your dog up the day of the show or the night before.
Ooh,
that does not work ever. All that's going to do is give your dog diarrhea. That's it. It ain't going to do nothing else trying to pack your dog full of stuff the night before, the day before. That's not the right way is acclimation. Unfortunately, not everybody can afford to take the time to get there that early and all that. So my advice to people is really condition your dogs good and try to get them at the higher end of their weight so that you don't have to worry about the feeding and all those things the day of, where they can afford to drop a little bit and it's going to be okay. Right. That's how I did it. When I would travel a lot with my dogs, I would condition the hell out of them beforehand. So they're ready for all that type of stuff and the socialization and all that. You definitely got to socialize your dog, especially with travel. They need to be, if they're not used to being in a car or an airplane, you should have done that already. That's things you have to desensitize.
This is not the experiment.
No, not at all. You need to desensitize them a long time ago for those kind of things. And then I like to put a little extra weight on a dog before a show when I know I'm traveling and it's going to be a day or two later. But gradual weight on the dog, not
so you can feed them light that weekend.
Yeah, you can feed them light and take them, take them back to where it's easier to put them back to where you want them to be than to try to fatten them up at the last minute. That does not work. That just runs right through their system.
Yeah, and then you end up dehydrating them.
You end up dehydrating because they have diarrhea is what happens. And then you got, then you're that person that everybody's like, whose dog just did that? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be that person. No, none of us want to. And that's another thing with these venues. We have to be responsible because we already carry a stigma. We've always carried a stigma. We've done great jobs at breaking down the negative stereotypes, whether it's with the impression of who we are as a community or whether it's the impression of what our dogs are just from the visual of the dog. So we've had to fight for a long time to build our way, to get the respect. And the worst thing we can do is mess up in front of people. So we have to be responsible dog owners. Do not bring your dog in a show in heat. Do not bring your dog to a show if your dog is sick. Do not bring your dog to the show if your dog is having loose stools or anything like that, and make sure you're equipped everywhere you go. When you walk that dog, make sure you have your paper towels, your bag, whatever it is you need, because if your dog happens to go there, hopefully they don't. Most dogs are trained and they can get them to the relief areas. But if the case happens, make sure you're prepared at that moment to clean it up. Don't rely on cleanup. I hate the fact that we have to hire cleanup crews because when I showed my dogs, Nobody's cleaning up after my dogs. I am, and I was super embarrassed if that ever happened. So I would make sure like this is clean right away. So we got to be responsible dog owners because you got to realize this wasn't an easy thing to do when we weren't readily accepted in this breed. And we're talking breeds that stem from breeds that have been banned, and even this breed in the XL is at banning. So it's like the odds are against us as far as stigma is concerned, so we have to go above and beyond. And when we're in public, we have to go double above and beyond, so it's essential that when people come into these events, they see a clean environment and healthy dogs and a positive attitude with all of our people. And most of the time it's that way, but there's always a few that aren't. And those few, they need to stop going to shows. We as a community need to start calling them out immediately, and we don't have to be rude about it, but we can be educational about it and say, hey, you cannot walk away and just let this happen. You need to make sure you come and you clean this up. You know what I mean? Like if they're not, so we can't afford to not. I mean, there's places that venues have been lost because of things like that. We lost the Chicago venue because people were walking around the venue inside, letting their dogs go to the bathroom, not even in our hall, like other parts.
Oh my God.
In the actual venue.
We didn't even know to clean because we're not in that part of the venue.
Yeah.
It happened with a few dogs, and that place now won't do dog shows anymore because of that. And that's wrong. That's really wrong.
Yeah.
That's messed up, man.
Yeah, and it makes us.
I'll tell you something I've seen
Bad
at a
look.
lot of shows
Right.
that I think turns people off and is and that's that messiness and just things get chaotic and messy and they got too much going on at their booths and all that. But I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of females in heat at a show. I seen a guy wiping a dog's spot, and he's steadily putting a paper towel on the back of this dog, trying to keep the blood from dripping in the ring and stuff. And I've seen that a few times.
Yeah.
And people wonder
then-
why
and-
their dogs get pyremia and think, when a female's in heat, it's irresponsible, first of all, because then they
Yes.
are more susceptible to bacterias and things like that.
So
So
for the health of her, for
the help
sure,
of the female, number one, and number two, for the respect of everybody else at the show.
it throws every dog in the building off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just not
totally.
right. Yeah.
And
I'm
then
with you on
another
that.
thing that I've seen people do a lot of, and I wish the judges, I haven't seen this in ABKC as much, but I have seen it at a lot of shows where they let people spectate, but they got dogs with them, and they're right at ringside and
we
got a
don't
dog
allow
with
that.
them.
Yep.
We don't allow that at ABKC.
Yeah, I
and
haven't seen that at ABKC,
No.
but I have seen it at shows, and that's a terrible thing. I can't imagine why they would ever allow a dog right there at the ring. The dog's barking at the dogs going around, and
Now
Those
that's a bad. The other one that gets me too is the ones that block the entries of the ring.
Yeah.
Like,
I just-
y'all want to watch the event, but,
Yeah.
but please, there's a way in and a way out for the dogs. Keep those open for the dogs. They need to get out so the next ones can get in, and you're causing stress on the dogs when you're trying to
Uh-huh.
funnel through. It's bad enough that you're already coming out of the ring with 10, 15, 20 dogs, but to have to funnel your way through a crowd to get out, no, leave those things open, for the people. So, I mean, yes, obviously there's people that don't know better because they don't, but it's our job to, hey, this area right here is for the dogs. Can you please, we just need to help people follow these rules. But as far as like going to the bathroom, like that is your responsibility. And accidents do happen. Yes, it does. They're dogs. It happens. It's how you react to it. That was what matters. There are plenty of ways to prevent those things from happening with training and things like that. And when you go to high end events, your dog should already be trained at that level, and you have to be responsible. When you take your dog out of a crate, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have to go to the bathroom. So don't leave your dog in a crate and just pull it out at the time that you're going to show up. 10 minutes before you get ready to go in the ring or something, take your dog out, relieve your dog, make sure the dog's, got a chance. There's things that you can do. Dogs are conditioned, especially dogs that are crate trained dogs. They're conditioned to go to the bathroom when they come out of their crate. So when you're first taking your dog out of its crate, take the dog outside, take the dog into the potty area, relief area, whatever it is. That'll prevent those things from happening.
Oh, definitely. And
I
there's,
will say, Dave, in my opinion, I have seen where ABKC does a bit. It's not a shot at any other registry, but it seems to me that ABKC does a better job at covering checking more of those boxes, keeping those things in check on a regular basis. I haven't dealt with any of those issues at an ABKC show, man. So hats off to y'all for kind of raising the bar there.
Thank you. I mean, it's our rule that if the dogs are not showing or being relieved or going into one of the atmospheres where they're being
You're on deck. Yeah.
then they need to stay in their confined areas. It doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
mean they have to stay in their crate, but they need to stay within their booths or the areas because it's a dog show. And that's the point.
Yeah.
The dogs are there to compete in whatever environment they're competing in. It's fine if you're in your booth and you want to display your dogs on it. That's fine. But the rest of the area is not for that. That's for people to move around, the public to move around, and for the dogs to be able to come and go to the places that they're supposed to be coming and going from. So
Yeah.
common courtesy of a dog show. It's not a place to just hang out with your dogs. Those are parks, and things like that. It's different. You're coming to compete or you're coming to show off your dog or whatever it is, but you need to make sure that's within the confined area of whatever that is, whether it's your booth or the ring, So,
Right.
Great. Awesome.
Yep, I agree, man.
Yeah. And you
I
guys
agree. Y'all do a great job at that, man.
Yeah.
we're trying, but it still happens. But please, and even outside, clean up.
You got human error,
I just can't tell you how many times that the venues we've come to like, well, yeah, y'all kept everything nice in here, but outside it's a mess because people think they take their dogs outside to go to the bathroom. That doesn't mean that you can leave it there though.
Yeah.
The grass is great, but you still need to clean it up. Obviously pee is different, but you still got to clean it up. Like if they're going to the bathroom on the grass, that grass is not for you. Just leave it there. That's why we have bags. Bring your bags with you. Be a responsible owner, indoors and outdoors, because that reflects on our community. It reflects on the breed, and it reflects on the shows. And if you do these things, these places aren't going to allow us to continue to do that. So you're not even going to have. I mean, we fought to even get acceptance to even be able to have dog shows for this breed. We can't screw that up by being irresponsible. We cannot do that. So
that venue that we did an ABKC show in Conway, Arkansas here this year that JJ Sterling and Ashton put together over here, that venue that we used, the Expo Center, they did a show there. It wasn't a bully show, I don't think, but it was a dog show in the last decade. And it burnt that bridge so bad that I was trying to get put together to host a show there last year, and we offered them triple the deposit and they wouldn't take it. I mean, hats off to the people that made that happen there and opened that door again, because they had shut it tight, man. They did not want dogs to ever be showed in that building again, and they were able to get them to do it, and they really took care of the opportunity. But yeah, like you said, things like that really can ruin it. We can't burn bridges everywhere we go. We gotta build them.
well, exactly 100%. And I think a lot of things in this world,
Absolutely.
we have the acceptance now. So there's a lot of our community that didn't realize we had to fight for this acceptance.
Right.
And the older people know that, like, we weren't handed this. This wasn't an open door for us. We had to work our way into these doors, and it's our responsibility to make sure that now that the door is open, that it's kept open. And so it's our responsibility to make sure that you can't fight at a dog show. I don't care what's going on. If you don't like somebody, you don't be the bigger man. And that some things you take it somewhere else because you ruin everybody. And what happens then is that stigma that's on us, you're the reason why we have that stigma. And you're the reason why they're going to say, we don't want this here. And you are bad people. And this is a bad breed, and we can't have that. Plus there's children running around and it's a family event. That's what makes us great. Is like when people walk in there, like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. It's like, I can't even explain what this dog show is. Yeah. And we need to keep that vibe going. So any violence, any irresponsibility as dog owner, all these things, they cannot happen. We cannot have this at our events. And the second we do, we as ABKC will ban them, but our community also needs to step up and say, no, we don't want this in our community. There's plenty of people in this world that I don't like. And there's plenty of people in the world that, believe it or not, don't like me. I know it's hard to believe. There's plenty of them out there, but it's a mutual respect. Like, okay, we're here for this. So, I mean, we'll be cordial or we just won't speak at all, but we're not going to, go fight each other and argue. And that's part of, I don't know. It's a different vibe sometimes with people who didn't get to fight for things, who just, it was just handed. So we
walked into this. And it's one of those things where
I agree with what you're saying, and people don't realize how much of that was earned and not given.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And by owning this breed, think about it like this. This breed would do anything for you. Everybody here owns this breed, knows how much those dogs love you. This breed sells itself. The second you introduce this breed to somebody, they fall in love. It's
That's
our
right.
responsibility to that breed that we represent ourselves in the right way, because the breed's going to represent itself the right way. We have to make sure that we protect that as owners.
Yeah.
And when we don't, we're the ones that are going to destroy our breed. No, not our dogs. Our dogs will never ruin it. We, the owners, will ruin it if we don't represent it right. So you owe it to the dogs, period. The dogs that love you and that look up to you and doing whatever you want, bringing you that joy, you owe it to that dog to make sure that you represent yourself responsible in the presence of that dog, so there's a lot of things. So but
it's all about
That's
the
a
dogs
fact,
versus nothing
man.
at
The
all.
dogs
Like,
have done their part. We got to do ours.
That's right.
we do. And we need to remove things. Like if there's people that come to shows and they start something like that, then everybody needs to say, no, you're not accepted here. We don't want you in our community. Same with irresponsible dog owners. No, we don't want you here because you're giving us and our breed a bad name and our community a bad name. And we worked hard to get a good name, and we work hard and we do. We really have a great environment. I mean, look at this screens right now. We're all from different places. We all have different things, but we're here having a good time, laughing, and this is our community. This is what you guys do is the essence of who we are. And that's why I love coming on the show, because when I come on the show, I feel like I'm at a dog show. I feel like I'm with my family. And that's another great thing about ABKC. And this is no matter where you go in the world, if you go into an ABKC show, it doesn't matter if you don't speak the language. You're all of a sudden you're home again. You're like, okay, I'm home. Everybody here speaking a different language, eating some food I ain't never seen before in my life, but I'm with my people.
I think that right there, that says a lot, man. And we're glad to be a part of that. All of us are. We love the dynamic of this show, and we love the dynamic of our community. But I think where the origin of that is, I think back from day one, back in the very beginning of our breed, I think it started in these these inner cities, and there was all this culture, and you had people that different affiliations, different things going on, and the dogs brought them all together, and everybody put everything down to kind of get in the ring together, and it was this neutral ground. And so if you think about it like that, that neutral ground being the show has been something that's been at the basis of this from the very beginning.
It is. It was definitely an urban-based background that was the foundation of the movement of this breeding community. And that background is really what brought the diversity of it. But since then, it's grown beyond. It's everybody has
international now. Yeah.
It's not just international outside of just an urban environment. It's like we sold something to the rest of the world that they all like, wow, this is really cool. And it's like, we owe it to like keep that up, because we did something big. When I say we, I'm talking about our community, all of them. So
right.
I don't know. I just love this. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was in LA one time at one of our shows, and the police were in there, and I was standing there talking to one of the police officers, and he's like, man, how did you all do this? And I was like, how did we do what? And he said, we came here expecting the worst. He said, this is LA, and there's so many people in here that on the street are at war with each other. They can't even look at each other, but they're all in here, and there's nothing going on bad. Now, I'm not from LA, so I didn't know any of that. I don't know who's who. That's not my, on the streets of LA, so I don't know, so it's like, but I'm like looking at him like, damn,
so cool.
Okay, yeah, we're doing something. And to them, it was like, this can't be done outside of here. How does this happen? I said, it happens because everybody here is here for a different purpose. Whatever's going on in the street isn't happening here. What's going on here is we all love these dogs. So we're all working together to make
That's what
sure
I was
that
saying. That's kind of in the backbone of what was built.
That was the most memorable thing ever in my life. Thing ever in my life, because it's like, it woke me up too. I was like, wow, okay, this is big. This is something really big, and I can't tell you how many stories of people is like, this changed my life. How many people that is like, man, I was going down the wrong path and I was doing this actually changed. Just gave me something that I'm able to do being who I am. And it's changed who I am, or people like, I once was this, now I got kids, but now I can still do things that I love to do and bring my kids along with it. So it's done so much for so many people. This is it's a beautiful, it really is a beautiful thing when you look at how much it's done to bring people together. And again, we cannot screw that up at all.
Yeah. It's a very special thing, man. It really is.
No, it is. I mean, the world screws that up good enough on its own with people fighting and hating each other.
Yeah, we don't need to be trying to expedite nothing. Like, if anything,
we're that one thing that says, hey, here we're family. We love each other and we don't care about nothing else. We're all here for respect. And so to me, that's a great thing. And I think that's the biggest thing about our community, bigger than the dogs we created, was the community we created. So, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm still here to this day because of our community. I've bred, I've done what I wanted to do as a breeder, and I'm to the point where that's not the passion that I have anymore, right. and business wise, I've worked for years. I've retired from a business. I did fine in that part of my world. So this to me is now I'm here for the community. And it's just because I saw a community that I love and something that I'm comfortable in and something that I don't see anywhere else. And so me, it's like, I'm here still because of my love and my obligation to our community. So I want nothing more than this to continue and people to realize how great a community we really are. The breed's easy to know how great they are. I mean, all you got to do is
what's up, man.
You already know that. Yeah. So
that's what's up, man. I'm glad to be a part of it, man. I really feel like I found my tribe, like I'm where I belong when I'm doing my thing.
I'm with you. Wait till you go overseas one day. You're gonna be like, oh wow,
it's the same here too.
Yeah,
I'm still with my tribe. It's just
that's what John was telling me,
language,
man. It seemed like every time I talked to John Cortez, man, he was in another country, and I was like, what's it like over there? What are the shows? He's like, man, it's the exact same, just people were speaking a different language.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. And that's really what it is. And I'm telling you, it's everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's Asia. Shit, I've been to Asia. We have shows from every continent, honestly. We have them in Africa, Australia, Asia, South America, everywhere. I think the only place we don't have shows yet is Antarctica, but
there's still time.
Coming soon.
Yeah, we're working on that one. Yeah.
Well, global warming's making it a little bit more.
I forget where he was at. He said it was one of the best ones.
There's a few hurdles to get to that one, but yeah.
Was it Tibet that he went to recently that he said was so beautiful, man? Great place.
I haven't been to Tibet because I don't think we have dog shows in Tibet yet.
I don't know if it was Tibet. I'm trying to remember. It was somewhere.
Nepal, I thought.
I don't remember specifically where it was, but it was somewhere I haven't been. But he said the community's great everywhere he's been, all over the world.
Yeah, well, the cool thing about it is you feel like you get to these countries like, oh man, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I don't speak the language. I know. Second you walk in the building, you're like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm
comfort.
Right.
And that's how they feel when they come here. So make sure y'all, show love to the international ones because they're going to show you love when you go see them for sure. So yeah.
100%, man.
No, and that's what Nationals is. That's why the vibe, just like you said.
Yeah, I feel like we've had some sound issues or something. Some people I can't hear.
Really?
Caleb, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
I had to go out. I
can't hear Bruce either.
Oh, my bad.
I'm lucky. I can see and hear everybody.
Yeah. I had to go out a couple of times and come back in.
Yeah, I know.
Let's try to close out and close back in before we shut down.
Lost all of you at least once.
Well, my battery's actually dying on this.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, we can't have you dying on us now. But Dave, is there anything that you want to release to the public as far as like anything that you could think of as?
I think we've said it all. I think that there's a few booths left. Get them booths while they're there because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We're in Savannah. I don't know we'll ever be back in Savannah again. So just try to get there. Make sure y'all come out. I mean, this is Nationals. If you've never been, you got to go. Got to feel the vibe. It's something different. We do this for you all. So this is 100% our gift back to our community to make sure you all have a great event and a great time. So as long as you all want this, we're going to keep doing it for you. So it's always respect and love to our community and especially to you guys and your show. Caleb, I'm expecting you working security this year. Now you done brought the guns out, so we're going to put you up at the front door. Yeah.
Always ready. Always ready.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
We talked about this.
I feel like we're playing musical chairs. I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, the boxes keep moving around. Yeah.
Well, because Michael keeps freezing, Unc keeps leaving. I can't.
Yeah,
Talk to
no,
you.
I'm back in the middle now. So yeah. So
Yeah, it's
I
just the three of
appreciate
us.
everything. I don't mean to cut you off because I don't want it to die in mid sentence here. So
Yeah, but no, thank you, Dave. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Always
all right.
appreciate your time.
Always
See y'all
appreciate you,
Saturday,
Dave.
man.
Y'all as well. We'll see y'all this weekend.
All
Yeah.
right, buddy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We'll see
Pleasure,
you
man.
then.
Pleasure to all y'all. I really enjoyed it tonight.
All right, as well.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Good
Yeah.
We'll
night.
see you then.
Good
Bye,
night.
Later,
everybody.
man.
Hopefully see you Saturday.
Good night, Amanda.
Night, babe.
Yeah.